Prevent Blindness logo. Stargardt. Havah's story.
My brother actually got an eye screening at school. I don't know why I wasn't there that day, but when he got the eye screening done, he was diagnosed with astigmatism. And so he got a nice new pair of Ninja Turtle glasses, and I wanted a pair of glasses. I was like, Mom, I want to go to the doctor because I want a pair of glasses. So I went, and that's when he looked at me. He's like, Havah, you need to stop lying. Your eyes can't be that bad. Your prescription is so strong. And I was like, well, I'm not. But they just thought I wanted a pair of glasses. So I walked away with a pair of glasses that day. And I was in 3rd grade at the time when my teacher went up to my mom and he was like, she's still looking so close to her computer, even with her glasses on. And then when I was in 4th grade, my basketball coach said I was having a very hard time with hand-eye contact with the ball. And so I failed 3 eye exams before a doctor took their time to scan my retina. And we didn't know what Stargardt was. We didn't know if I even had it at that point. We just knew something was wrong with my vision. And so I went up to Madison, Wisconsin, and I had a spit in a tube, which was very weird at 9 years old. I did not know what genetics were. And so when I got that test back, I was diagnosed with Stargardt's. And the first words the doctor told me were, you will never be able to drive and you need to get pulled out of your private school. That day, I didn't even learn what Stargardt's was and how it would affect my life in the future. Those are the only 2 pieces of information that I remember from my diagnosis. Shortly after that, my 2 younger siblings were also diagnosed with Stargardt's. And that completely changed our lives. We had no clue how bad our vision actually was. I had to learn that people could read and people could see when you would get the basketball passed to them, and that you didn't have to sit front row at a musical to be able to see what was going on. I thought it was how Hollywood makes it so black and white. You either see completely black or you see perfectly fine. I didn't know that it was that you could be considered legally blind but could still see. So just even learning that, being diagnosed legally blind and being well, I can still see things. I don't understand what's going on. So even that was very difficult to understand. So my central vision is completely blurry, and I trained myself in a way to look through my peripheral vision. And usually that's hard for fully sighted people to do because why wouldn't you look straight anyways? So I taught myself how to look through my peripheral vision because it's more clear than my central vision. So that's definitely been a learning game of where my blind spots are, learning how to rest my eyes. And I have been doing natural health is how I've been stabilizing my vision personally. I do acupuncture every Thursday. And my mom loves making us take our vitamins, so I take vitamins all the time. But really just finding an equal balance of how to rest my eyes has definitely been a huge thing as well. All throughout middle school, I was super, super shy. I was super lonely. I never asked for accommodations or help with literally anything. And I would rather sit in missing homework and not have friends because I was so ashamed of what I thought defined me and my future. And it started to affect my little siblings as well. And that's when I kind of started to change my mindset because I didn't want my little siblings looking at me and being well, Havah's so sad about her eye disease. We have to be sad about it. And so when I went into my freshman year, I wanted something that was more of a distraction. And so I joined the dance team and I ended up hating it because I could not see what the instructor was doing. And so that's just a little bit where the struggle came from, was finding what was accessible with accommodations for me and honestly learning how to use my voice, which was really, really hard at first. One of the biggest things that have been such a gift in my life is competing in pageantry. I competed in my first pageant when I was a sophomore in high school for the USOA system, and I won USOA Teen Wisconsin, and that truly, truly changed my life. I won my first title for the Miss America system January 10th, so I'm your Miss Northern Lights teen, and I'm your very first legally blind Miss Northern Lights teen, and I'm going to be able to compete down in New Bernland for the title of Miss Wisconsin's Teen this upcoming June. And I'm so very excited. That made me get out of my comfort zone, because when I was a sophomore, I would say I was still very embarrassed of my eye disease. And when I was talking to my coach, for non-pageant people, you have a platform, and it's where you advocate for something for your entire year of service. And she was like, well, what do you want yours to be? And I was like, anything except my eye disease. Like, I just don't want to talk about it. And she was like, Havah, your story is so inspiring and powerful to people that you need to share it. And that's when I came up with Through Her Eyes, Living Life Legally Blind. And it's really just about helping teens and kids and even adults just help them know that they can overcome challenges, and that this little stump in life may seem like the biggest deal, but they will get through it. I wanted to do musical all 4 years of high school. I just never felt confident enough to do it. And my best friend, she sat me down. She's like, hey, but you have to do it. It's Grease. Like, come on. Like, it's the most fun musical. You'll have the best time of your life. And I emailed the director before I even auditioned, and I was like, hey, like, if I do this musical, there's going to have to be accommodations. Otherwise, I can't do it. And she was like, oh, of course. Like, she didn't even bat an eye. So during rehearsals, I don't know if you're a big Grease fan, but I got the role of Marty. And she's a pink lady. And so she would read my lines for me, and I would say them back. And then when we got to the theater, all the tech crew knew that I was visually impaired. And when I had to walk across stage or be somewhere on time, they would just take me and walk me there. They were so great about my vision, and it truly just made me feel more comfortable in school and making friends. Theater is where I have found my friend group, because I've never really felt comfortable with expressing my vision to kids in my class, because it's like I have to see them every day. But these kids just understood me and took me under their wing and were so great about my vision. But I always take that extra step to ask the director of pageants and musicals to ask for those little accommodations. But for pageants, I ask for the walking patterns so I can count out my steps and know exactly where I have to be. And usually I have like a backstage helper. Sometimes I would completely forget about things. I'm like, oh, I do need help with this, like buckling my heels. But just learning slowly but safely has been a challenge, but it's been worth it. The Aspect program taught me how to love myself. It taught me that I wasn't alone in my vision journey and that everyone struggles in life, but we can all achieve things one way or another. I've never met someone besides my two younger siblings with vision loss. And when I hopped on these calls, I met 4 people with Stargardt's, which is the most people I've ever met with the same eye condition as me. And that truly made me feel not alone, and hearing other people's stories. And sometimes you have to hear how other people struggle, because then you know you weren't alone in your vision journey. And hearing how these adults, because I was the youngest person in this group, how these adults were also struggling with their vision loss, that truly made me feel so comforted in a way, because I knew I wasn't alone. And seeing how they were thriving really just made me have a role model to look up to. And I'm actually coming out with my first children's book called The Letter E. It's about my vision journey, about failing eye exams and learning the curve of what it's like living life with Stargardt's. People need certain things to thrive in life, and for me, that's accommodations. And for another person, that could be something else. But just trying to teach people what it's like living life legally blind as a teenager has been difficult, but very important for me to share my words of encouragement to other people.
For more information about inherited retinal diseases and the Aspect Patient Engagement Program, please visit preventblindness.org.